They built an empire out of smoke, charisma, and PowerPoint slides. For a brief electric moment, the world believed in a company that produced absolutely nothing, yet somehow convinced investors it was worth $63 billion. This is the story of how hype became currency, how belief replaced balance sheets, and how the modern economy learned, again, that dreams have an expiration date. And if stories like this fascinate you, hit subscribe. You'll see just how often money and magic look the same thing. Picture an office that gleamed like tomorrow. Glass walls polished to perfection, slogans about changing everything, an espresso bar named after the company mascot. Reporters marched through it with glitter in their eyes. This wasn't just a startup, they said. It was the future signing autographs. Beneath the music, though, under the servers and marketing decks, there was nothing. No product, no prototype that worked, no equation that balanced. Yet every month the valuation climbed higher. Investors didn't want facts. They wanted front-row seats to whatever miracle this was supposed to be. When the founders pitched, they spoke in riddles that sounded rich. "The world is a paper map," announced the CEO, "and we're building life's GPS." Nobody knew what that meant, but it glittered, and glitter looks good in a pitch deck. Slides burned verbs like fireworks: revolutionize, democratize, monetize. Applause followed. That's always stage one of a boom. The dream. The instant imagination accelerates faster than math and reason waves goodbye. Every zero added to the valuation sounds like applause echoing through a marble hallway. The founders became celebrities of ambition. Black turtlenecks, strategic pauses. TED Talk cadence doubled as lullaby for investors. They didn't build a product, they built mythology. And nothing sells in America faster than prophecy with a logo. Magazine covers glowed. Billboards flaunted genius above airport escalators. Even janitors whispered about stock options. It felt like the Roaring Twenties re-uploaded. Jazz swapped for EDM, optimism financed by venture debt. Every party needs a soundtrack. This one used buzzwords. Inside, an entire department designed hope for a living. Demo videos for imaginary tech, animated dashboards for non-existent data, prototypes that digitally sweat charisma. One engineer joked, "We're Pixar with worse coffee." He didn't realize he'd described reality perfectly. Competitors quit. Why build something real when fantasy cashed bigger checks? Universities started teaching the attention-first model. Contagious optimism spread faster than common sense. And the symptoms were lucrative. Skeptics got labeled cynics. Cynics got escorted out. Negativity, they said, doesn't scale. The stock graph resembled a jet fueled by denial. Why ruin a good climb by pointing out gravity? Employees repeated the gospel. We're changing the world. Technically true, they were redefining honesty as good marketing. Quarterly reports boasted exponential growth in user synergy, which accountants later learned was fictional. Profit was passé. Possibilities were priceless. On calls, the CEO's smile could power small cities. We're not chasing money, we're chasing meaning. Wall Street melted. Meaning photographed better than math. If this strange marriage between finance and fiction already has you hooked, give this video a quick like. It tells the algorithm you enjoy stories that make capitalism blush. Then a quiet Tuesday ruined everything. A fresh investor asked politely for data. Not a watercolor version, real data. The spreadsheet arrived mostly blank, proud in its emptiness. Someone murmured, "Wait, this is the innovation?" The illusion wobbled. Whispers multiplied. Ex-employees met journalists in diner booths. One article dropped, and overnight optimism turned to oxygen deprivation. Traders slammed keyboards, markets coughed. By dusk, digital fortunes were smoke signals. The CEO appeared live, tone heroic, denial epic. Our fundamentals are strong. Behind her, the graph plunged like a theme park ride. Viewers flooded the chat with crying, laughing emojis. Clips hit TikTok before the press release left draft mode. Comedy travels faster than collapse. By Friday, investors were calling lawyers. By Monday, lawyers were calling therapists. $63 billion vanished the same way it arrived, through belief. Money had simply remembered it was imagination printed on paper. Offices emptied to the sound of motivational playlists. The same reporters who once cheered the miracle now narrated its post-mortem. One side, gravity, unlike valuation, still works on weekends. Beneath headlines, real lives cracked. An engineer who died moved across the country to build something pure, now drove rideshares past the shell of the old headquarters. The intern who'd framed her stock options sold the frame on eBay. Dreams depreciate quietly. Investors swore they'd been deceived. They weren't lying, just editing their memories. The CFO put it best. It wasn't fraud, it was faith with a business model. Somewhere, accountants applauded the poetry. News outlets hunted villains and found reflections. Journalists, financiers, influencers, each had added a pixel of belief until the picture blurred into myth. When the screen went dark, they blamed lighting. Memes composed the obituary. Clips of the CEO promising eternal growth mashed up with scenes of empty offices. A remix titled Boom Then Bust topped playlists for a week, longer than the company survived. You'd think the world would learn. But before the ink on this failure dried, another startup promised to disrupt gravity. Investors smiled. They love sequels. Hope reboots faster than software. Memory fades. Greed ages like fine dopamine. Optimism returns with cleaner fonts and shinier buzzwords. We click again, invest again, dream again. History sighs. See you next quarter. Among the ruins glimmered small truths. 1. Numbers aren't narratives. 2. Popularity isn't proof. 3. When certainty gets loud, silence your applause long enough to check the math. Ambition's not the enemy. Amnesia is. Each generation rebuilds the same glass tower, convinced it's bulletproof optimism this time. Spoiler, glass still breaks. Congress held hearings. Senators who had once called the project visionary now denounced negligent exuberance. The CEO adjusted their tie, said, mistakes were made, and pretended contrition was innovation. Regulators promised oversight. Startups promised disruption. Equilibrium restored. Yet something genuine survived. Former employees built small, real companies, ones with working prototypes and humble spreadsheets. They laughed about the old days but admitted those illusions had one priceless feature. They made people dream together. It's a hard addiction to quit. So maybe the moral isn't stop dreaming. Maybe it's keep receipts. Hope needs accounting. Dream big, audit often. Because unverified inspiration eventually files for bankruptcy. Every boom carries its busted echo within it, waiting for applause to reach maximum volume. Then gravity clears its throat and the chart remembers direction. Booms inhale, busts exhale. It's the economy breathing. Months later, the lobby logo disappeared. The espresso machine was sold to pay legal fees. Someone hung a handwritten sign. Reality Check Cafe, now open. Tourists posed beneath it, smiling. Proof that irony never goes out of stock. For a heartbeat, this company convinced the world progress was limitless. Then it fell, sketching the flight path the next dream will follow. The economy is a looping symphony. Ambition builds, disbelief crashes, humility hums the bridge, and we restart the song. Economists call it the cycle. Prophets call it karma. Traders call it Tuesday. Either way, the chorus stays the same. So next time you see a shiny pitch claiming to reinvent reality, glance at your feet. If you still feel the floor, gravity's fine. Hold on to it. Because when math catches hype, the sound is universal. It begins with applause, turns into euphoria, crescendos into panic, and ends with a sound older than markets themselves. Boom. Then busted. If that made you smile, think, or maybe wince a little, stick around. Subscribe to Boom and Busted, drop a like, and join the crowd that watches illusions unravel in living color. New animated stories drop soon, because history keeps rehearsing the same punchline, and we're here to make sure you don't miss the next one.